All right, we are live. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Bonsoir tout le monde et bienvenue. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu, VA3 CZ, opening the Amateur Radio Exchange Group, AREG, for Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. My name is Chuck, and my station is located in Hamilton, Ontario. That's the west end of Lake Ontario. This net is on every Wednesday night, starting at 8 p.m. and ending around 10 p.m. local time here on 146.430 megahertz. And since this is a simplex net, not everyone will be able to hear everyone else. And so I also stream the net on YouTube live, so people who tune in will be able to hear stations that they cannot hear on their radio, hear how their audio sounds on the air, and see their signal strength as well as see my station layout. Just type my call into the YouTube search box, VA3CJZ, and look for us under the live button. Or tonight, our title is AREG Week 1646. That's just over 31.5 years that AREG has been on the air consecutively every week. And finally, I ask that you please leave a 1 second delay between transmissions to allow others to possibly break in. And with that, are there any time sensitive mobile or portables that would like to check in? Please come now.
Quick question.
All right, we got a quick question. Go ahead.
Bonsoir to Le Mans. You said something else after that. The A's or NFL. You threw me off guard on that one. I just about to turn the radio up and heard it.
I think I said bienvenue, and that means welcome.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, Chuck. I was just getting ready to shut the damn radio off, and you threw two words in there and turn it back to net. You guys have fun. 7:30.
Okay, Al, got you in the log, and here's another couple of French words. Bon appetit. All right, so with that, let's open it up to anyone with a valid license. Please come now.
VA3AMW.
Ooh, I heard somebody with a call sign that says VA3VJC. Pretty scratchy in there, but I got you, Richard, North End Richard. How about if I take you first there, Mac? Stand by one. Come on in, Richard. All right, Richard, I caught part of that about you thought you'd check in and say hi. I saw you on the YouTube stream, so great to see you with us. And thanks for checking in, Richard. Mac, did you happen to catch that transmission?
Absolutely zero copy, unfortunately.
Okay, we're going to have to get Richard one of those new Quan Changs. And so it might be able to make it there. But Richard, thank you so much for checking in, my friend. Anything else? All right. I kind of lost you there, my friend, but I do have you on YouTube. You can type in there at will. And so, as a reminder, this is a Simplex Net, and I don't hear all the stations. And so a relay might be required sometimes if you can hear something that I can't, which does happen on occasion. Please, by all means, a relay would be appreciated. And let's bring in the relay king himself, VA3 IMW.
man on the mountain. Anyways, Charles, been looking forward to this all day, and certainly a great way to spend a Wednesday evening, kind of unwind and feel a little bit of relaxation for hump day. So the weather was interesting. Guelph got like 8 inches of snow. Thankfully, it was snow before rain or freezing rain, so it just turned slushy, mucky, and gooey instead of crusty and sheet of ice. That's a good thing, I guess. Anyways, looking forward to the plus 18 degree temperatures that we're supposed to get tomorrow. Actually, it's supposed to warm up overnight, so I expect to get up in the morning and look out and see none of that white stuff left on the ground. Anyways, it was a little bit more mentally taxing to drive home tonight, and I didn't realize to what extent I was really working extra hard on concentrating just to make sure that there wasn't any road conditions that were going to take advantage of myself at the end of a long workday. And it wasn't until I got home and changed into some more comfortable clothes and sat down and I thought to myself, oh, j'ai fatigué, or something like that. Speaking of which, bienvenue, translated literally, means good place. I understand that it is the French meaning for welcome, but I guess a nice gesture in saying you're in a good place and you're good. It's good that you're here. So, anyways, j'ai fatigué, and I have no idea whether or not I'm going to make the tail end of the net tonight. So, if you happen to come to me and find there is some snoring in the background, no, you won't hear that because I won't be keyed up. Anyways, I'm here as long as the eyes will stay open. And thanks again for doing this one.
Hey, Mac.
Oui, si, senor.
Hey, I'm only getting you in an S2. Is it your antenna or mine? BA for NFL.
I don't know. You're coming here with an S9, and perhaps Charles can give me a signal report to see, well, I don't know if there's ice accumulation on my little piece of fiberglass sticking up there off the roof or not, but we'll see what Charles says.
Yeah, very good there, Mac. Yeah, no, I've got you at, the closest to full strength that anyone gets, except for maybe my neighbor across the street. So, yeah, full strength for you. And I didn't quite see Al there. Bring it back, Al. We'll give you a signal report.
Very good. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I was getting Mac in the nest too, and I'm thinking, okay, my antenna or his, but other than that, I have no idea.
Yeah, solid S10 over here, Al. So everything's working. Maybe Mac's signal is going over you.
Yeah, quite possible. Well, that's the first time, but I usually blows my needle that it don't come back. But other than that, Chuck, Mac, everybody on that, I'm shutting this damn radio off. I gotta eat. BA for NFL. 7-3 to everybody. Enjoy the evening.
OK, Al, va manger. Et puis, bon appétit. And Mac, it's je suis fatigué. I am tired. And yes, the literal translations, if you take there are 2 words in bienvenue, and if you take it literally, that's exactly what it means. So very good. But you need to work on your accent.
No, actually, I've learned a long time ago I can't fake it. And, the funny thing is, if Quebecers actually go to Paris and speak their normal,
Quebec.
what do they call it? Street French. Yeah, the Parisians, they really take offense to, kind of the same way that the Brits take to Americanized English. You're bastardizing the Queen's language. So yeah, as far as trying to sound like either a Quebecer or a Parisian French person, I'm just going to be nodding and say yes. My primary language is English. The fact that I can utter a few words that sort of sound like French, if you can happen to understand it, then good for you. But I'm certainly not going to spend any time working on the accent aigu or any of the other stuff that makes you sound like the fellow out there that is on social assistance. No, that's not me.
Ah, yes, l'accent aigu. Yes. Yeah, I know. You may, a lot of people may not speak the French, but they understand it quite well. So, Mac, you're a connoisseur. All right, sir. Do you have anything else to add? Yeah, any announcements you'd like to make at this time? I will go around and ask again later.
I guess it's just the 2 points. Number one, June 21st is a solid date for our next group activation. Park yet to be named. And secondly, for a point of consideration, anybody who's interested, I know it's been thrown towards me, something about May 2-4 weekend, perhaps doing another N1CC style park activation event, which would require operators at multiple parks. And if people can consider it and give me some feedback over the next couple of weeks so that we can set up what operators where and what parks and things of that nature, if there's an interest for N1CC rewards of some sort. So, and just to bring some context to it, N1CC means working 10 parks on 10 bands. You can either get a reward as an activator or as a hunter, and it takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 3.5 hours in order to get through 10 bands. We typically go to 11 bands in order to make sure everybody is got 10 in their pocket by the time they leave, just in case they have trouble with one or another. But yeah, if there's an interest in people securing N1CC awards for Parks on the Air, either as an activator or a hunter, feel free to consider what you're doing on the May 2-4 long weekend and give us some feedback in upcoming nets, either this one or the Lake Ontario Radio Club net, or even the Sunday night UHF VHF net. That's all for me. Thank you, Chuck.
All right, very good, Mac. Yeah, there's plenty of time left for suggestions, questions, comments, and so forth. Before I do another call out, I want to acknowledge everyone who's checked in with us on the YouTube stream. Quite the group tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Wade is the first one, VA3NCA. Richard came in second with VA3VJC. And then Rick, BK, VE3 Bravo Kilowatt. Guy joined us from Ottawa. Hello, Guy. Bill, VE3 IUK. Jeff, VNA, I think. VE3V. And Alvaro has joined us. Kilo Bravo 2, Uniform Echo Whiskey from, I believe it's Nevada. How's the weather in Nevada? We're supposed to reach approximately 68 degrees Fahrenheit tomorrow, which is crazy because this afternoon we were at 32 Fahrenheit, and now it's going up. It's a little bit past the freezing mark, and overnight the temperature is going to climb here in Hamilton, Ontario. So, anyways, Alvaro, thank you very much. Muchas gracias. And let's see. Oh, that's VE3NVY for Jeff. And then Albert joined us as well, VA3APT. And Mark, VA3 Mike Hotel Victor. Thank you so much. Please feel free to chat amongst yourselves and enjoy the net. And so, with that, let's see who else would like to check in with us here on the weekly Amateur Radio Exchange Group. My name is Chuck, and my call is VA3CJZ.
Victor Alpha 3, Bravo Tango.
VA3NCA.
All right, we got two there. Let's bring in Albert, VA3 Bravo Tango, the pickleball man.
Good evening, Chuck and everyone on frequency. Yeah, it was an interesting trip home, that's for sure, like Mac was saying there. Got off the QE, took the 407, covered in ice. Yeah, let's just say it was an interesting drive home. Take your time to get home in one piece. But other than that, hey, I heard Richard in there, no problem. I was getting him at 4S units over here.
Very good.
Yeah, other than that, not much to report on my end, besides the crazy drive home. We'll hand it back over to you there, Chuck. VA3BT.
All right, Albert. His window must be facing your antenna then. But yeah, he's downtown in the north end there. So, all right, very good. And yeah, it was coming down hard and heavy. That white stuff, that nasty white stuff. I couldn't believe it. I thought we'd get far less of what we did. And now, even with all that rain that came down, my lawn is still covered in snow. The streets are slush. Uh, hard to believe. They're calling for almost 20 degrees tomorrow. So that's crazy. Only in the hammer can you get 2 different seasons, or maybe even 3 sometimes in one day. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, you're going from one extreme to the next. But you know what? This doesn't surprise me. We always get hit with something in the end of March. And of course, April. So, yeah. Hopefully this is it, though. Anyways, we'll hand it back to you there. VA3BT.
All right, Albert. Thanks for checking in. I'll understand if you're falling asleep close to 10 o'clock. Thanks, there. You're a real trooper. Let's bring in Wade, VA3NCA.
VA3CJZ, VA3NCA. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening, everybody on net. Yeah, wild weather there. It was getting windy there during the day, and then suddenly that dump of snow, and you're looking out there, not expecting to be so much, but I don't think it's lasting. I wasn't about to go shovel in the rain with forecasts of 18 tomorrow, so I figure it shouldn't stick around very long. But I guess we'll see, that's for sure. Other than that, it's good to be here with everybody on a Wednesday. Nice break in the week. I just realized with Mac mentioning that our next summer equinox, I guess, spring equinox, summer solstice, with the summer coming up. I'm actually going to probably have to do that as a park-to-park then, because I will be at the University of Regina out in Saskatchewan for a conference that week before, probably flying back on that weekend. So I'm going to have to try and find some time on the Saturday, maybe, to try and do a park-to-park with the folks here. But anyways, there's a few months now to plan for that, or a couple months at least to plan for that. So I guess there's still time. But with that, I'll send it back to you. I don't know, depending on the weather tomorrow, it might or may not be an in at work day for me, but we'll see. They all tend to blend together anyways. Back to you there, Chuck.
All right, Wade. I didn't really listen when you were telling the date of when you're going to be gone.
Oh, yeah, it's the week before. So it's, let's see, it's the um, whatever the week of the 16th is, which runs into the weekend that we're going to have the summer event, Eyeball QSO.
Oh,
So I will either be flying back on that day, or if I extended a day, maybe I can make a get out to a park and do a park to park.
all right. Well, the 16th is a Friday. You're talking about. Oh, that's sorry. That's May. So we're talking June, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, June 16th to the 19th, which I think is a Thursday,
Yeah.
is the conference. I usually tend to try not to fly on a Friday, so I would have, either I'm heading back or I'll take a late flight on the Saturday and maybe get out to a park while I'm out there and maybe do a park to park back home.
All right. Very good then. Well, you can always ask the pilot if you can throw your wire out the back or out of a window and just let it fly in the back of the airplane there, and you can make contact.
Now you're thinking. I like that idea. Yeah, we can. I don't know. I don't think the radio has an airplane mode, so I think that is totally legal. And it sounds good.
Yeah, well, the military sure does use that, although their wire is like a mile long or something crazy like that. But yeah, so they got some real nifty communication. Oh, they drag it in the water too, I think.
Yeah, that's the ultra low frequency stuff that they do for ships and submarines. They'll surface and they'll drag a wire through the water, as I understand it. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know if the tuner could just tune up the metal by my seat. Although maybe I should just try not to get arrested by whatever air wardens might be there.
Yeah, you'll be blacklisted and marked as a domestic terrorist. Well, it's a good thought though. But anyways, I wish you well. I'm sure we'll speak to you many times before you take off there. So, but now I have a better idea. Well, thanks for checking in, Wade. I hope your week is going okay so far, and that tomorrow well, I'm thinking maybe by the end of the day, all this stuff will be gone, but no more. Sorry, the skies are closed. We're not taking any more anything white coming out of there. Anything else there, Wade?
No, just remembering from that radio on airplanes. I don't know if you remember Mr. Mudd. I guess he's VE5 MUD out there. He had that video where he got speaking to from the airport security because he tried to set up his radio and make some contacts, hunt some POTA from the lobby, or not lobby, but the waiting area at his gate, and they came around to talk to him, and they threatened to take his radios, and he promised he would check them and not use them anymore. Anyways, the following week, I happened to be flying out to a conference as well, and so when I got there, I put the radio on the windowsill. And I took a picture of it, and I tagged him on a Discord channel we're on together, and asked him if I should activate YYZ. And his response back was absolutely, just don't expect me to bail you out.
Yeah. People are telling the flight attendants there, hey man, there's some guy with some weird electronic device at the window there. I mean, he might have a bomb. Oh, that's too funny. All right, there, Wade. Well, thank you again. And if you got anything else for us, please break in. And so, with that, let's see who else would like to. Oh no, let's go to. I think Albert. I think I already talked to Albert. I'm confused now. because the list didn't follow. That's right. I already spoke to Albert. So let's do another call out and see who else would like to check in here on the weekly AREG Net.
Victor Echo 3, Lima, Bravo, India.
Victor.
All right, I heard Larry in there, VE3LBI, and was that Cal? VA3 Charlie Delta Victor.
Yes, it was, Chuck, and I'm at hockey, so I'm just about to go in, so quick in and out. I'll turn it back to you, and I'll probably catch you later on.
All right, very good. A solid S9 over here at the Center Mall. Thanks for checking in, Cal, and remember to keep your stick on the ice. Let's bring in Larry, VE3LBI.
Yeah, thanks, Chuck. Interesting drive going to get the grandson today. I'll tell you, boy, the road was a mess. We left here about 2:30, I guess. Only going across Fennel. I thought what I'd do was cut down Upper Sherman. There was a bus stopped in front of me. So he decided he was going to leave and go through the light, except he couldn't go anywhere. The next thing I know, he's backing up. So I'm thinking, I better start backing up, which I did. Anyways, he got it going forward. By the time he got the light, it was gone to yellow, and he had to go through it in the red. But nevertheless, he ended up hitting the curb, and he was just sliding all over the road.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe, that was a bus, right?
Full-size city bus. He just couldn't get going. But I thought he was going to run right into me.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so I guess the city hasn't, they weren't expecting anything, so they didn't put any brine down on the roads or anything. So it was right at the freezing mark there, Larry. So I'm not surprised at all.
Well, I think what happened was we had all that snow, got rain on top of it. Like I think you heard you talking before, it was just a slush. But it just kind of surprised me. I didn't think these things were allowed to back up with nobody behind them, kind of give them directionals they could see. Unless I don't know whether they got cameras in the back of them or not.
Well, I know they do have a blind spot, several blind spots on a bus. And if you're too close behind them, they won't see you. They won't know there's someone behind them. So that's one of their, if they don't have a rear camera, it's a real problem. But glad everything turned out okay there, Larry. And, you and the little one are okay. That reminds me, I need to call Bob, VE3XKV, because he was in an accident there, and he was hurting for a while. So I hope he's doing better now. Anyways, Larry, back to you for your final.
Yep, that's about it. Other than it's melting pretty good outside, and it is really messy.
Yes, lots of slush. And I can't believe with all that rain even that we got, there's still a bunch of snow. My lawn is covered. So it came down hard and heavy, big flakes. All right, well, enough of that. Let's see who else is out there would like to check in with us here on the weekly Amateur Radio Exchange Group. My name is Chuck, and my station is located in Hamilton. Anyone, anywhere, please come now. All right, well, let's jump to some announcements. It's springtime, and that means that there is a contest. I'm on the ONTARS events web page, and we have a bunch of hamfests that'll be coming up. The first one will be in Iroquois, the Iroquois Amateur Radio Club, and that will be on the 5th of April, this weekend, at the Royal Canadian Legion at 24 Dundas Street in Iroquois, Ontario. Next, on the 12th of April, we have the Durham Hamfest, and that'll be held at Valley Farm Road in Pickering. After that, we have the Drumlins Amateur Radio Club Hamfest. Saturday, the 19th of April, and that's in Palmyra, New York. And of course, right after that, in May, is the Dayton Hamvention from May 16th to the 18th at Fairground Road in Xenia. Next, we've got the Rideau Lakes Hamfest at the Smith Falls Civitan Club on Saturday, the 17th of May. And that's in Smith's Falls, Ontario, Saturday, 17th of May. Rideau Lakes Hamfest. Next, the Central Ontario Hamfest on Sunday, the 1st of June. On a Sunday, this one. And that's brought to you, that'll be in Cambridge on Rife Road. And that's brought to you by the Kitchener Waterloo Amateur Radio Club, as well as the Guelph Amateur Radio Club. And locally here, we'll have the Steeltown Tailgate Treasures. I guess they were told to change the name from Treasure in the Trunk because someone else has been using it for years. And so that'll be in Grimsby on the 14th of June. And the Steeltown Tailgate Treasures in Grimsby. Just go to the ONTARS webpage and you can get more information on the details. I got a couple more to go here. The 21st of June will be the Rochester Hamfest. And that's probably in the States, I'm thinking. And then we have the Ontario Hamfest on the 12th of July, brought to you by the Burlington Amateur Radio Club at the Milton Fairgrounds. And then we have the Parry Sound Amateur Radio Club on the 16th of August. Their Hamfest will be on that day in Seguin, Ontario. Seguin, Seguin. And then on the 9th of August, we have the Hanover Ham Hall at the Hanover Drive-In on the 9th of August. Find our couple more. We got the Rock City Hamfest on the 23rd of August in Macedown, New York. And then the Carp Agricultural Fairgrounds will have a Hamfest brought to you by the Ottawa Amateur Radio Club on the 6th of September, and that'll be at the Carp Agricultural Fairgrounds. And then let's round out the Ancaster Fairgrounds. Will be hosting the Hamfest, Hamilton Amateur Radio Club, in September, the 27th of September, on Trinity Road in Jerseyville. And then finally, the Kingston Amateur Radio Club will be holding their event on Saturday, the 18th of October. So again, if you want any more information or to check out all these, go to the ONTARS webpage. And that is ontars.com. All right. Does anyone have any announcements that they would like to make? Please come forward. All right. I got a few contests for you coming up this weekend. So the contests are starting to pick up. And we start with the Georgia State Parks on the Air. Then we have the Louisiana QSO Party, the Mississippi QSO Party, the Missouri QSO Party, and then the Florida State Parks on the Air. And then finally, the Poland has a SPDX contest, and that's for CW and sideband for 10 meters, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. So I get my information from contestcalendar.com. So contest calendar is one word, .com, and you can just click on the 8-day running right next to the home button. There's an 8-day button. Click on that, and that gives you all the next upcoming contests. So, with that, once again, how about we ask for check ins this time? Do we have any new check ins for tonight's Amateur Radio Exchange Group? This is VA3CJZ. All right, very good then. Let me check what's going on here on on the YouTube stream. See if we have anybody asking questions or checking in there. Mad Dog, VA3FGT. Okay, that sounds familiar.
Of course, that's Greg from Simcoe.
Ah, Greg from Simcoe. Gosh, I haven't seen that call sign in so long. Welcome, Greg. How's things with you? I haven't heard you in a while. Hope everything's okay. Do you still have radio gear? VA3 Fox Golf Tango. All right. So with that, we'll add Greg to the log. He's lucky number 13 tonight. All right. So let's see. Okay. Ciao. Oh, I guess he might have taken off. All right. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, Greg. And I hope everything's going well with you. All right. So that means I guess we're going to start a little bit of trivia then, eh? What do you think? Should I start with the sixth grade science? Let's start with the easy ones, shall we? All right. We're going to go in the animal category. Everyone can play along on the YouTube stream as well as on the radio, by all means. So let's start off with which animal has the longest lifespan? I don't have multiple choice here. You'll have to guess on your own. Which animal has the longest lifespan?
Bear. Let's try the blue whale.
Well, when you think of longest lifespan, you have to think in the terms of dinosaurs. And actually, Wade got that right. No, bacteria is not an animal, Wade. I don't think. You got it right. It is the giant tortoise. Tortoise. uh, yeah, that's has the longest lifespan. If I'm not mistaken, it's even older than the Greenland shark. But no, the Greenland shark is not an animal. It's a fish. It does not breathe water. I'm sorry, breathe air. It breathes water. So the tortoise needs air, and so that's an animal. And so there you go, the giant tortoise. And Noel making dinner, listening along. Very good. Bon appetit. All right. Which animal can sleep up to 22 hours a day? And don't say man. Which animal can sleep up to 22 hours a day? And obviously, an animal that sleeps that long is not very fast. And Wade, that was a good thought with the sloth, but in fact, it's the koala. The koala sleeps 22 hours a day. Oh, there's Michael. Kilo India 5, Sierra Papa Alpha. Good evening, Michael. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
I think I was a koala in my previous life.
Yeah, me too. In my youth, maybe a little hungover, sleeping in there. Uh, all right. So Michael is joining us from Arizona this evening. Good evening, Michael. How are you? And how's the weather? We're just above freezing here, maybe 35, 36 degrees. Um, and the temperatures are supposed to climb overnight. And tomorrow we're going to reach around 68. So hope all is well with you, and hope you've been enjoying the radio hobby. We've had a couple of nice contests lately, and conditions weren't too bad. But anyways, thanks again, Michael. You are in the log. Anyone else wishing to join us would like to check in? Please come now. This is VA3 CJZ. All right. What is that from Wayne B there? You said me. What, you were a koala in your past life too there, Wayne? All right, let's go back to the sixth grade science trivia questions. Now, we're going to stay with animals. What large mammal native to Africa and Asia is critically endangered due to the habitat loss and poaching for its horn?
That would be your rhinoceros, Chuck.
Yeah. Wade jumped the gun. He didn't wait for me to finish the question. And it is, in fact, I think the last male white rhino died not too long ago, and it was the last one. So, yeah, definitely endangered. Here's another one. What large marine mammal, known for its massive size and gentle nature, is endangered due to hunting for its blubber and oil? That would be the blue whale. Wade got half of it right. All right. What species of ape, known for its close genetic relation to humans, is critically endangered due to habitat loss and hunting? The ape that's endangered is actually the gorilla. Um, it's an endangered species. Ooh, here's a good one. What animal has the strongest sense of smell? That's a good one. I never would have thought. Yeah, wow, that's great. What animal has the strongest sense of smell? That would be the bear. It doesn't say which type of bear. I'm sure all of them. What animal has the strongest sense of smell? By the way, that movie that Leo DiCaprio played in called The Revenant, where he gets mauled by a bear, that is actually a true story. Maybe the movie isn't exactly as a real life story, but he was a trapper and was mauled, left for dead, and was in rough shape. I think the guy's name was Hugh Glass, and he survived. All right. So the bear. So what creature has a long, sticky tongue it uses to catch insects?
That would be your anteater, otherwise known as an armadillo.
They're calling it the ant eater here. That's the one that has a long, no, long snout, probably to hold its super long tongue.
That's what she said.
All right. Now here's one I didn't know. What animal has the most teeth? what animal has the most teeth? And the answer is the snail. Believe it or not, the snail has more teeth than anything, I guess. What is the largest species of lizard? Largest species of lizard. That would be the Komodo dragon is the largest. And if you don't die from its bite, the venom that it has will kill you. So either you get eaten or you get poisoned and then you get eaten. So either way, you don't want to be touched by one of those. Its saliva is poisonous. Now, here's a really tricky question here. What is the only mammal capable of true flight? And that would be a bat. That's right, Wade. It's a mammal, breathes air, and it's the only one that can fly, truly fly. Which animal has the best eyesight? I'll give you a hint. It's a bird. It is, in fact, the eagle. The eagle has the best eyesight, and no wonder they're flying up there. They see fish down in a lake from about a mile up. Crazy eyesight. All right. So let's move on to another level. We'll put the sixth grade one aside. And this is pretty, this is a tough one for me. And we'll go with this question. What is the newest element on the periodic table? What's the newest element on the periodic table? Well, the symbol is OG, and no, that's not original gangster. It's called Oganesson. Oganesson. That's the newest element on the periodic table. Uh, yes, it was. At what temperature are Celsius and Fahrenheit equal?
I think that's minus 40 degrees.
That is correct. For some reason, I thought it was minus 44, but I'm wrong. It is minus 40. You and Wade both got that right. Very good. So, when was the modern periodic table introduced? The one with atomic numbers. What year uh, was a modern periodic table created? It was a while ago. That would be right before World War One. It's in 1912. That's when it came out. All right. What's the symbol for iron on the periodic table?
Fox Edward.
Big F, little e. Correct. You and Wade both got that right. Here's another. What do you call the subatomic particles that make up protons and neutrons? What do you call the subatomic particles that make up protons and neutrons? All right, Dexter got that right. Wade got that right. The answer is quarks. It is a quark.
He's always been a little quirky.
All right. Who is considered the father of modern chemistry? Yeah, it's a French name and it's not easy. It's Antoine Laurent Lavoisier. Lavoisier is his last name. Antoine Laurent, there's a hyphen in between Antoine Laurent and Lavoisier. I didn't know that. What element is named after the Greek word for greenish yellow? That would be chlorine. If it were possible to fly a plane, a regular plane to Pluto, how long do you think it would take? It would take a while, something like 800 years if you were to fly a jetliner to Pluto. 800 years. It took what? What did it take? 10 or 20 years for Voyager 1 to make it to Pluto? I'm curious how long that took. Check it out, Wade, and let me know. Yeah, Wayne says he'd want to get out, shell extra money out for the business class so he could have leg room for the long trip.
And make sure your return trip is not on the Boeing Starliner, because you'll never get back.
Yeah, not unless you go to sleepy sleep. All right, how many stars are in the universe? It's a big, big number. Anyone guess?
All of them.
That's right. You and Wade got that right. Lots, he says. Trillions. Well, Wade, as a matter of fact, there are at least a billion trillion, more than all of the grains of sand on all of Earth's beaches. What color is the sunset on Mars? This is interesting. Well, you're close there, Wade. The color of the sunset on Mars, they say here, it's blue. So, yeah, interesting. Nice try, Guy. Being as it's a red planet and we got the yellow sun, I would have thought, yeah, geez, that's weird. Blue. Oh, well. At what speed does our solar system orbit the Milky Way galaxy? So, yeah, that's one to remember, eh, Guy? So, the answer to this one, at what speed does our solar system hurtle through space and orbit the Milky Way galaxy? And the answer is around 515,000 miles per hour. So, 500,000 miles per hour ish. That's right, Wade. Ish. All right, here's another long number. How long does it take to take our solar system to complete one orbit around the galactic center of our universe? Only about 230 million years. And did you know you can thank the death of the dinosaurs for the creation of wine. They say they found grape seeds dating back, I guess, 65 million years, right when the dinosaurs died off. Grapes started growing. Well, that's what you get when you don't have all those big feet squashing everything all the time. All right. Which two planets have no moons? Mercury and Venus have no moons. Well, this is interesting. What shape is the moon? You'll be surprised.
It's somewhat egg-shaped.
Well, they refer to it more like a lemon. The moon is shaped like a lemon. That's the answer. The answer I got.
And I still think it's made of cheese.
All right, then. Well, let's take a break and let's see if there's anybody listening that would like to check in with us here on the AREG Net, the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. My name is Chuck, and my call is VA3CJZ. Okay. This is a really cool question. Um, how many times has Neptune orbited the sun since its discovery? How many times has Neptune orbited the sun since its discovery? So, the it was discovered in 1846, and Neptune has made one full orbit, which it finished in 2011. Interesting. All right, here you go, Wade. You might get this one. Actually, no, you did get that one once. You got it right. So, what's the coldest planet in our solar system? Well, even though Neptune is the farthest from the sun, the coldest planet is, in fact, Uranus.
Biting my tongue.
11-year-old.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to say Uranus, and then that 11-year-old will stay asleep.
All right. How long would it take to walk to the moon if you were to just take a stroll and there was a bridge? How long do you think it would take you to get to the moon? Pack a lunch, though. That's all I got to say.
Let me phone Sting.
All right. Well, it would take 9 years, apparently, of walking nonstop to the moon.
Alice.
To the moon, Alice. All right. How long would it take to drive a car to the nearest star? Oh, nobody will get this. More than 356 billion years. All right. Here's an easier one. How long does it take for the ISS, the International Space Station, to orbit the Earth?
$90.
That sounded like Vern.
It is, Chuck. Just thought I'd check in, and believe it or not, I am not outside. It is way too nasty out there.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I'm looking at my security camera outside there, and I agree. I concur. And very good. You got that right, by the way, Vern.
That was one of the few I actually know.
All right. Well, we did start off with the sixth grade science quiz, so we've moved up to a higher level. So there you go. You got it right. Let's see now. Um, between which two planets does the asteroid belt lie? The asteroid belt is in between two planets.
The answer starts with Uranus.
You are no. Uh, let's see. Wade got no. Wade got half, and Noel got half. It's Jupiter and Mars. All right. What planet is closest in size to Earth? Michael. Yeah. Well, that's why I do these, to stir your brain up, get you thinking back to when you were in school. Michael, KI5SPA, says he needs to go back to school. What's the average distance between Earth and the Moon? I'll take a close number if you're close. What's the average distance between Earth and the Moon?
300,000 miles.
Well, actually, Wade is a little bit closer with 225,000. The correct answer is 238,855. Anyone know how long the largest blue whale ever was measured at?
What are we measuring here, Chuck?
The length of the body. 110 feet, 17 inches was the longest blue whale ever measured. That's quite a bit. All right. Which animal did Australia go to war with in 1932? They didn't have any ostriches, so they used the emu. That's interesting. All right. The largest mammal in North America. What's the largest mammal? The largest mammal in North America is the bison, of course.
And they make really good burgers.
Yeah. I'd love me some bison burgers. What animal kills the most humans each year?
The moose.
Well, an air-breathing animal, I would say, is the hippo, but they have here the mosquito. The mosquito is a disease carrier and kills more people per year than any other animal. Very good, Noel.
So doesn't the disease kill the human instead of the... Anyways, yeah, okay.
Well, the mosquito is responsible for carrying these diseases. And that's what happened with the plague with the rats. fleas. They were carrying diseases on the rats, infected them, and the rats passed. Anyways, yeah. All right. How long can beavers hold their breath underwater? Every Canadian should know this one.
Oh my. Yeah, I guess it depends on whose hot tub you're in.
All right, let's repeat the question. How long can beavers hold their breath underwater? The answer is 15 minutes. All right, one more here. What animal has the longest lifespan? You'll be very surprised with the answer. All right, I'll tell you right now. It's called the glass sponge. The glass sponge has the longest lifespan. All right. Well, that was fun. All right, let's pause and see if there's anyone listening that would like to check into our weekly net. This is VA3CJZ. All right, almost forgot to add Vern to the list there. Thank you, Vern. All right, let's move on to on this day. We might end up with an early net, but we'll just keep going for now. And I have to pull up the file first. So before I get started, I'd like to mention that yesterday, which is not on this day, but yesterday we lost Val Kilmer. And this morning I just got news that a friend that I've known for over 40 years passed away. Murray Falk passed away in Alberta. I've known him for a very long time. So, anyways, let's get started. Let's start with birthdays. And first of all, we are on this day, week 214. And let's start off with Giacomo Casanova. Yes, he was a real person. Casanova was born on this day in 1725, and he died in 1798. So that would make him roughly 73 years old. So he didn't die of an STD. They have him here as an Italian writer, adventurer, and famous lover. Geez, I wish they could put that on my tombstone. Born in Venice, Italy. All right, let's move over to next. We have Hans Christian Andersen was born today in 1805. He died in 1875. He was a Danish author of over 150 fairy tales. One of them being The Ugly Duckling, the other The Snow Queen, and about 148 more. Of course, he was born in Denmark. Next, we've got Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, born on this day in 1834. He was a French sculptor who designed the Statue of Liberty. He was also a painter. Born in France, he died in 1904. Next, we've got Walter Chrysler, born on this day in 1875, died in 1940. He was an American automotive pioneer, started the Chrysler Corporation He was also a thoroughbred breeder, and he was born in Kansas. Next, just give me the facts, ma'am. Jack Webb, born on this day in 1920. He was an American screenwriter, director, and actor on Dragnet. Just give me the facts, ma'am. He was also on a show called Sunset Boulevard. Born in Santa Monica, California. He died in 1982. Marvin Gaye was born on this day in 1939. Shot by his father in 1984. Marvin Gaye was an American soul singer songwriter, and he was born in Washington, D.C. One of his most famous songs is Let's Get It On, and another one is called What's Going On. Pretty good. There's a pretty good album he's got out. I like it. Born in 1952, Leon Wilkeson, American rock bassist for Lynyrd Skynyrd. Born in Newport, Rhode Island. Died in 2001. All right. Who remembers George Costanza from Seinfeld when he used to work for a certain boss that was the owner of the New York Yankees? Does anyone remember that? There's a few episodes where he's in there, and it was Mr. Steinbrenner. Hank Steinbrenner. He was born on this day, 1957. An American businessman and Major League Baseball team owner. New York Yankees from 2010 to 2020. And he was born in Indiana. Died in the year 2020. All right. Who remembers Rodney King? He was born on this day in 1965. And he was an African. This is what it says here. African American motorist beaten by Los Angeles police officer. Born in Sacramento, California, died on June 17th, 2012, at the age of 47 after drowning in his backyard swimming pool. Kind of like that guy from Friends. And finally, on my list here, I have Michael Fassbender, born on this day, 1977, an Irish German actor. So he was Magneto in the X-Men movie, the younger Magneto, not the older one. And so it's no wonder he's Irish and German. So he played the German part where he spoke German very well, and that's why he was born there. Born in Heidelberg, Baden-Württemberg, something like that. So that's it for famous people born on this day. Do we have any questions, comments, or check-ins for this net? Please come now.
Comment?
Yes, by all means, go ahead, comment.
I may as well check me into VE3KDT. Also, I think Fassbender was one of his first early roles that nobody really knows about. He was one of the guys in Band of Brothers.
Oh, really? When was that made around?
I think it was early 2000s or something. Like most of them are quite older now. But yeah, I think it was like one of his first roles. He was like 20, 21.
And he was also in Assassin's Creed.
That I don't know, but big fan of Band of Brothers.
Yeah, I heard. Well, someone gave it bad reviews, but Assassin's Creed, I liked it. It was pretty cool. I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but I liked it.
I do remember seeing it. I just didn't even remember that was him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was. All right. Well, thanks for pointing that out. And he was in the Band of Brothers. Thanks for checking in, Noel. Anything else? How's things going? How's little James?
Guys were doing good this weekend. Lots of craziness. And the typical thing, he was all piss and vinegar. Sorry, excuse me. And on the way home, and the typical thing, I even called him out on it. Within 5 minutes, they were both snoring, so I got to listen to that, and it was peaceful and quiet.
Yes, the car ride. The magic of moving in a car puts children to sleep. I've heard of stories of people having colicky babies, and they would just put them in the car, drive around the block, and they'd be quiet, fall asleep.
Absolutely, my one, my best friend there, that's his kids, both of them. They when they were really young and couldn't sleep, yeah, went for a drive.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I pity, feel bad for people who have colicky babies, nonstop crying. All right. Anything else, Noel?
No, sorry, yeah, I guess we kind of got going back and forth there. I guess you can continue with your net. I will say I was really lucky with my kids; didn't have a colicky part. So, other than that, back to you. I'll let you finish off with your dinner.
Not a problem. Always have time to chit chat, take check ins, answer questions, and all that fun stuff. And so, is there anyone else out there that's listening that would like to check in? Please come now. This is VA3CJZ. All right, let's go back to on this day and find out who died today in history. Famous people, of course. We start off with Samuel Morse. He was born in 1791, but he died on this day, April the 2nd, in 1872. Samuel Morse, of course, is an American painter and inventor of the electric telegraph and Morse code. He was 80 years old when he passed away. I didn't know he was a painter. All right, who's seen a rodeo show or parts of one? Who's been to the Calgary Stampede and seen the Cowboys perform there? I have. And man, that's the greatest show on earth, they say, at the Calgary Stampede. Anyhow, Bill Pickett died in 1932. He was an American rodeo performer who invented bulldogging. And get this, he dies after being kicked in the head by a bronco at the age of 61. You don't want to get kicked in the head. When I see those videos of people getting kicked by horses there, oh my God. You some of those hits is not survivable. Anyways, our next customer is John Pierce, passing away in 2002. He was an American engineer responsible for the very first communications satellite called Telstar 1. And he dies at the age of 92. John Pierce. Dying in 2003 is Michael Wayne. He was an American film producer for the movie The Green Beret with John Wayne and McClintock. And he's also the son of John Wayne. And he was 68 when he died in 2003. Next, passing away on this day in 2015 is Doug Sax, an American mastering engineer for Bob Dylan, The Doors, Pink Floyd, and Ray Charles. Dies of cancer at the age of 78. John Wayne had a few children, actually, Guy, and a few of them have been in movies one way or another. And of course, I mentioned my last person here is Val Kilmer. His real name is Val Edward Kilmer. Was an American actor. Initially a stage actor, he found fame as a leading man on film acting in a wide variety of genres such as comedies, dramas, action, adventures, westerns, historical films, crime dramas, science fiction films, and fantasy films. Uh, I was surely saddened to hear he had suffered with throat cancer, and Tom Cruise was generous by putting him in the last Top Gun movie, and that's the last we've seen of him on film. All right, so that's it for my list. Does anyone else want to check into the net? Please come now. All right, let's move on to today's historical events. And hang on here. There we go. Let's go to the year 1513. On this day, explorer and conquistador Juan Ponce de Leon claims Florida for Spain as the first known European to reach it. So there you go. And then when the Americans took over, they actually turned Florida into a prison for Native Americans. That's where they sent Geronimo and all those famous Sitting Bull. All those people, I think, ended up there. All right, let's go to the year 1792. The Coinage Act is passed on this day in 1792. The Coinage Act is establishing the United States Mint and authorizing the $10 eagle, the $5 half eagle, the $2.50 quarter eagle gold coins, and then the silver dollar, the half dollar, quarter, dime, and half dime. All were started in 1792. And in 1827, U.S. inventor Joseph Dixon of Salem, Massachusetts, begins manufacturing lead pencils. All right, flash, bang, it's the human cannonball. In 1877, we have the first human cannonball act performed by 14-year-old Rosa Matilda Richter, known as Zazel. That's Zazel, at the Royal Aquarium in London. I knew a guy when I worked in the Conklin shows. I knew a guy who had his own private show that did spots with Conklin, and his name was Tio Zucchini. And he was also known back in the day as the Flying Zucchini. It's not spelt the same way as the vegetable. His was ZA instead of ZU. And it screwed his back up, and he had trouble in his later years just getting around. But solid guy, little fella too, wasn't very tall, and he used to get shot out of cannons. All right. Next, we've got in 1902, we've got a place called the Electric Theater, the first full time movie theater in the United States. And that opens in Los Angeles, California on this day in 1902. Next, we've got the theory of relativity. In 1921, Albert Einstein lectures in New York City on his new theory of relativity. Next, we've got a girl that strikes out Ruth and Gehrig. In 1931, a 17-year-old girl named Jackie Mitchell strikes out New York Yankees star Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig in an exhibition baseball game at Engel Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Next, we go to 1932. Tarzan, the Ape Man movie is released, starring Olympic swimmer Johnny Weissmuller in the first of his 12 Tarzan films. I don't know about you, but I grew up watching Johnny Weissmuller as Tarzan in all of his movies as a young fella. And he was an Olympic medalist, too. All right, let's stay in the year 1932. And Charles Lindbergh turns over $50,000 as ransom for his kidnapped son. Unfortunately, the son is never handed over, and the boy's body is found on May 12th, 1932, 72 days after the kidnapping. The body of the child was found partly buried under the woods near the Lindbergh home. In 1935, a Scottish physicist by the name of Robert Watson Watt receives a British patent for radar. All right, who has been to Disneyland and or Disney World? I've been to both, and I prefer the one in Florida, to tell you the truth. Now, Disneyland, this is in 1954. Plans to build Disneyland are first announced on this day in 1954. And Walt Disney's Metropolis of Nostalgia, Fantasy, and Futurism opens on July 17th in 1955. The $17 million theme park was built on 160 acres of former orange groves in Anaheim, California, and it soon brought in staggering profits. Now, I was curious about Disney World because there was no mention in the research I was looking at the time. So I checked it out, and Walt Disney World officially opened on October 1st, 1971, near Orlando, Florida. Get this, sprawled over 28,000 acres, the vast resort came with a larger footprint than its counterpart in California, because that one was only on 160 acres, the one in California, and the one in Florida is 28,000 acres. That's why you need to ride the monorail to get to it. The one in Florida, Wade, is Disney World. Disneyland is the California one. So you were with the high school band at the one in Florida? All right. Who out there likes to fish? Well, in 1960, on this very day, April 2nd, actually, I think that's opening for bass season. Anyways, a lady by the name of, or a guy, Mabry, Mabry, Mabry Harper catches a world record 25-pound walleye at Cedar Bluff on the Cumberland River in Tennessee. Woo-wee, 25 pounds. All right, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the Space Needle in Seattle, Washington. Well, in 1962, they have what you call the Eye of the Needle, a revolving restaurant similar to the one on the CN Tower. A revolving restaurant opens atop the Space Needle at the Century 21 Exposition, also known as the World's Fair, in Seattle, Washington. And it was designed by architect John Graham Jr. The Eye of the Needle was the original name of the restaurant located atop the Space Needle in Seattle, which was later renamed Space Needle Restaurant and then Sky City. Oh, okay. All right, let's go to some hockey. Hockey now. In 1969, Toronto center Forbes Kennedy sets a Stanley Cup playoff record for most penalties in one game, with eight penalties in one game for one player, as the Maple Leafs crash 10-0 to the Boston Bruins at Boston. Boston's first NHL playoff victory in 10 years. All right, let's go to 1973. CBS Radio begins on the hour news 24 hours a day, which we've all grown accustomed to now. And then in 1977, Fleetwood Mac's Rumors album goes to number one and stays atop the charts for 31 weeks. That's a little over 6 months now. 7 months, actually. That's back in 1977. All right, let's stay in 1977. And we have the Montreal Canadiens rout the Washington Capitals 11-0 at the Montreal Forum to set an NHL record of 34 straight home games without a loss back in 1977. All right, now let's go to 1978. A TV show called Dallas, starring Larry Hagman and Barbara Bel Geddes, premieres on CBS as a 5-week miniseries. And the ratings were so high that it leads to a 13-year run. It was only supposed to go for 5 weeks, and it went for 13 years. All right, back to hockey. In 1980, Montreal right wing Guy Lafleur scores twice to become the first player in NHL history to record 6 straight 50-goal seasons as the Canadiens beat the Red Wings 7-2 in Detroit. Boy, that Guy Lafleur was fast, man. I remember watching him back in the day. I think I remember apparently in the off season he used to train with a steel hockey stick or a steel puck or something like that, and he had weights on his skates. Man, that guy was fast. Guy Lafleur. Oh, I'm just reading the YouTube stream, and I thought I read from Wade saying he played Tombstone in the high school jazz band. Sorry, he played the trombone. All right, and let's go to 1995 now. We have the longest strike in American Major League Sports history, 232 days. Ends as Major League Baseball owners accept the players' offer to return to work without a contract. Major League Baseball is the first major pro sports league to lose an entire postseason due to a labor dispute. And in 2020, a new study shows Western Antarctica was once a swampy and temperate forest 93 to 83 million years ago during the Cretaceous period, according to Alfred Wegener Institute. So there you go. And as I mentioned earlier, grapes started growing after the dinosaur extinction. And finally, in 2023, on this day, footage of the deepest living fish ever recorded, the snailfish, released. The footage is released, and it was caught on camera at a depth of 27,349 feet, or 8,336 meters, in the Ogasawara Trench, south of Japan. That's roughly the depth of actually even higher than Mount Everest. I think Mount Everest is only 26,000. All right. Well, let's do a quick round. But first, let's see if there's anyone else out there listening that would like to check into our net. Please come now. This is VA3CJZ. All right. Well, Al is not with us. VA3NFL. Let's go to Wade and see what he has to say. VA3NCA.
VA3NCA. Actually, wait a minute. VA3CJ's at VA3NCA. Who am I? Who are you? Who are we all? Yeah, I've been listening along there, Chuck. Good net so far, and as always. And yeah, not much else to add, but I did go to Disney World, I guess it was, back in high school, and we played in a concert series. Our entry was a jazz band, and a long time ago, I did play the trombone. I couldn't play a note these days. Some would argue I couldn't play a note back then either, but good enough for a trip to Disney World though. So other than that, nothing much else to add at this round. So yeah, interesting facts as always, and I'll pass it back to you to run the list of VA3NCA. Back to you.
All right, very good, Wade. Yeah, I played the clarinet in high school, and then I taught myself to play the guitar. But then when I broke both my wrists, playing guitar became difficult, so I pretty much gave it up. But the clarinet was fun. I originally wanted the saxophone, but somebody got to it before I could, and we only had so many instruments to go around. Was that the case in your school, or did you have lots of instruments?
We had a number of them. I played saxophone for a little while, but then I ended up just sticking with brass instruments, with the trombone and a little bit of trumpet. But for the most part, it was the B flat trombone, the regular one, the one that you think of when you think of a trombone. None of the fancy stuff. But yeah, it's funny. My instructor, the teacher for music all through high school, he was a clarinet player, and he was quite a character. And so, anyways, he played clarinet, and he got me doing the saxophone for a little while, but then moved me over to brass. So yeah, that was fun, but I haven't touched any instruments at all since high school. So I'm sure I couldn't remember or play a note any longer.
Yeah, and the same thing goes with reading music. I'd have to learn it all over again, but it was fun nonetheless back in the day. Very good, Wade. Thanks for sharing that with everyone. And let's move along and see if Mac has something to say. VA3IMW. What am I saying? Of course, Mac has something to say.
Oh, you're so right. I was going to say funny, but no, actually, you're true. Yeah, harkening back to high school days. I was also a brass instrument player, baritone, valve trombone. I never did play with the slide trombone at all, but also moved over to tuba for a while when we needed that extra resource. So a lot of emphasis was placed on the performance of the stage band at Hamilton's Hill Park High School. They were kind of a leader in the Ontario band competitions, so it was nice that those competitions actually took place with the other schools coming to visit us. I had already had a number of years of guitar experience in advance of my brass instruments foray in high school. So for the jazz band and other things, guitar was alive and kicking. So great fun there. And it's only fitting that Wade had experience with the slide trombone. He's obviously come into the amateur radio hobby understanding that longer means lower as far as resonance goes. So he's really formed a path from music experience to amateur radio. Anyways, yeah, that's my place. Never did any woodwinds, and they said my teeth weren't straight enough to play the trumpet. And I probably agree with that wholeheartedly, but I do remember our closing concert. The two other baritone players, two girls, and they were very emotional, believe it or not. And when it came to the crescendo of the baritone part for the song that was going to play us out, they were too busy sniveling and blowing their noses and had to carry it myself. So three became one, and I rocked. Anyways, we'll turn it back to you, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right, now hold on a second. You need straight teeth to play the trumpet?
That's what they say. That's what they say. What do they call it? The embouchure is really, really important when it comes to trumpet playing in order to get full grasp of, what do they call it? The range for trumpet. It's, any old Joe can play the normal scale, but in order to hit the high C and the super high C, there's no sense in even starting to play the game if you don't have everything all suited and fitted properly. So as far as I was concerned, that was fine. I was okay with working the lower ranges, and there was all kinds of opportunity to experiment with embouchure settings to enhance the mid tones for the baritone and valve trombone, and it was so much fun transferring over to the tuba once in a while, just to go out there and bop bop bop, give them a nice bassy boom boom boom, as long as your lungs could hold out. But yes, in order to get the full range on a trumpet, apparently you need to have straight teeth. And I've tried trumpet, and there's no way I can. You can't do it all with your lips. That's for sure.
Oh, okay. Oh, I just learned something new. That's interesting. All right, very good. All right, well, let's see what instrument Albert play. VA3 Bravo Tango. You there, Albert?
He's contemplating a trip to Barrie.
All right, everyone else is checked in on YouTube. Um, Noel, VE3 Kilo Delta Tango. Did you play any instruments, or were you just a nerd?
I was a nerd, and I also played an instrument, and it would be the trumpet. So I can attest to a few of the things that Mac was talking about there. For me, I wasn't allowed to get to the French horn. That would be the smaller mouthpiece. So yeah, I did trumpet, and also randomly picked up the tuba and belted out the A&W theme song the one time.
I always had him pegged for a bassoon player.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So there you go. Someone who concurs with you there, Mac. Oh, very good. Then, so that was the only instrument.
Yeah. I only took it the 1 year. That was my art credit. I can't draw to save my life, and wasn't outgoing enough to do drama. So yeah, I went for music as my art credit.
All right. I think I had the same idea. All right. Thanks, Noel. Let's see if Larry is in there. VE3LBI.
Listening along, Chuck. Thank you.
No instruments for you?
No, when I went to school, the girls went to home ec and sewing class, and the guys went to automotive and woodworking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, I always went to an all academic school. Well, my high school, I stayed there. That was the only school that I didn't have to change schools partway through the year. When I was in grade school, we used to move like every 2 years. But in high school, when we moved, I was still able to go to the same high school. And yeah, so we didn't have shop or any of those trades in our school. It was all academic, and yeah, they had home ec. But mind you, when I was in grade school, I remember being bussed out to another school that had woodworking. I remember turning wood on a lathe and making a salad bowl for my parents. I was so proud of that. And then we had another class where we would do sculpting. And I forget, I think I made a bear or something where you build your uh, whatever it is you want to make with putty, and then they throw it in this oven and fire it. So yeah, but once we got to high school, nope, all academic and sports.
Yeah, I mostly took I took woodworking, which wasn't actually that greatest, but automotive. I took machine shop and electrical. Those are all things I was interested in, along with your normal stuff, your math and your English and the stuff you never use today, your geography that was mostly some foreign country you didn't know anything about, didn't care about. But no, that was pretty much it. Like I say, I don't remember anything to do with bands or anything. I know I was supposed to take a language. I never did. Somehow I get out of that. I don't know how, but I did.
Ah, that's where I picked up my Spanish from, was high school language. So I went to a French school, a French high school. All my schools were French. And so English was a course. and Spanish. So I majored in linguistics. All right, Larry, very good. Thank you for that. Let's see if Cal is still with us, VA3CDV. How about Vern? VA3 Charlie Romeo Foxtrot. You still with us? All right. Well, it's 10 to 10. Looks like we're going to maybe shut down a little early. But before I do that, let's see if there are any last minute check ins for tonight's Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is VA3 CJZ. All right. Wade got in trouble for having rolling paper in his trombone case. Had to have the music teacher vouch that it was to cover the braces so they didn't cut my lips pressing the mouthpiece. Excellent. I like that. All right. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or anything to add to tonight's net? Please come forward. All right. Well, I guess we're going to put a bow on it tonight. And I want to thank everyone who checked in on YouTube, through the radio, and join us for another fun evening, I think, that we had on the AREG net. 2 hours went by, and hump day is over. 2 more sleeps till the weekend. And remember, tomorrow is beach day, apparently. So let's do a quick 7-3 round. So I don't normally do 2 rounds in a row, but let's say goodnight to everybody proper. And we'll start with Wade, VA3NCA. Final words there, Wade.
VA3CJZ, VA3NCA, yeah, 7-3, Chuck, and to all on that. A great way to spend a Wednesday as always. Thanks for doing it, and I'll let you pass it down. Looking forward to next week and to the nets throughout the week. 7-3, VA3NCA, back to net control.
Okay, Wade, thanks again, my friend. Glad you had fun. Let's go to Mac, VA3IMW.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Chuck. Really appreciate all the hard work you put into preparation for this net. Looking forward to hearing from everybody tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on 446.125 Simplex 7-3s.
All right, Mac, 7-3. Albert, VA3 Bravo Tango, you there? All right, 2 more to go. Noel and Larry, VE3 Kilo Delta Tango.
7-3s, good night. Thanks for doing it all. And yeah, VE3 KDT. Again, thanks again.
All right, thank you, and enjoy your time with the little ones. Remember, they only stay little for a short time. And that brings us to Larry to wrap things up. VE3LBI 7-3.
Last but not least, Yep, thanks for doing it, Chuck. Enjoyed it. The temperature is going up. I'm not sure what it's like downtown, but up here we have fog.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that on my front-facing camera. There, a little bit of fog rolling in. I'm reading 2.5 degrees, and this afternoon we were at 0 or 32. So yeah, whatever 2.5 is, probably around 35, 36 degrees.
Well, with any 37, it says at the airport right now, so 37 degrees Fahrenheit, obviously. If it was 37 Celsius, we'd be in trouble. But hopefully this will be this mess. It's a mess. Will be gone in the morning, or most of it. Be run down the roads and into the sewers. So, with that, thanks for doing it, and hopefully we'll hear everybody. I guess tomorrow night on the Simplex Net and on Friday night on the ZOE. So, all right, 7-3 for now.
All right, Larry, thanks again. And you're absolutely right. Tomorrow at 7 p.m., um, we have the Simplex edition of the Lake Ontario Radio Club, and that will be on the Simplex frequency of 446.125 at 7 o'clock. And then on Friday, we join Larry at 8 p.m. on the VE3 ZOE repeater 443075 at 8 o'clock for the Rag Chew, Friday night Rag Chew with Larry. And so with that, I counted about 17 check-ins tonight. So another great turnout. I appreciate everybody participating with us in the trivia. Hope you all had fun as much as I did. And I look forward to doing it again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Remember, everyone, be safe and be kind to one another. 7-3. See you later. Bye for now.